From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It has been a gorgeous day across mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar still showing widespread sunshine across the region this evening. We do have some very thin high-level clouds developing over Lake Michigan. Those could filter in from time to time as we go throughout the next couple of hours here. We're at 51 degrees still in Lansing and Mason, 52 our current temperature in St. John's and Ionia. And with skies staying mostly clear as we go throughout the overnight hours, it will be a chilly start to the day tomorrow, waking up to temperatures in the low 30s, but there is warmer weather on the way and also the chance for a couple of thunderstorms. News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start the clock in our first 6 minutes of news. And we begin tonight with police in the Detroit area investigating an apparent murder-suicide. Detectives say a man and woman were found dead inside of a home around 7:30 yesterday evening in Westland. They both lived there. Police say a man called 911 and told dispatchers he shot his girlfriend and was planning to shoot himself. Then there was a gunshot and the line went dead. Officers made their way into the home and saw both people dead inside with gunshot wounds. And police in Oakland County are investigating a homicide in Highland Township. Investigators say a man called 911 to say he had shot his fiancée and then shot himself. When police arrived at the home, they found a 23-year-old woman inside the home dead with gunshot wounds. A man was also injured. He was taken to a hospital in serious condition, but officials say he will survive. The man is expected to face murder charges. The Trump administration plans to sue the state of Maine's educational department, accusing it of violating Title IX. Title IX prohibits sex discrimination in schools or other educational programs that receive federal funds. The White House says Maine's educational department is putting girls who compete in high school sports at risk for physical injury by allowing someone who is transgender to compete.
We don't like standing up here and filing lawsuits. We want to get states to comply with us. That's what this is about. We have repeatedly notified Maine of its infractions and urged them to remedy the situation to protect women. We've stripped grants from Maine through other departments, and we are going to continue to fight for women.
In a statement, Maine's governor says the matter is about the rights of states and, quote, defending the rule of law against a federal government bent on imposing its will instead of upholding the law, end quote. The Justice Department says it plans to go after other states as well for failing to comply with the Trump administration's policy, including Minnesota and California. Staying in Washington, D.C., the Trump administration is planning to end all funding for public media. That's at least according to a White House official, which includes the Public Broadcasting Service, or PBS, and the National Public Radio, or NPR. The White House says American taxpayers have been subsidizing NPR and PBS, which it says spreads woke propaganda disguised as news. NPR responded, saying pulling funding from these services would be devastating for American communities who rely on their trusted local and national news for emergency alerts and public safety. Well, some Canadians are being warned not to travel to the U.S. The Canadian Association of University Teachers released new travel advice to its members, saying it was because of the political landscape created by President Donald Trump and his administration, and also reports that some Canadians were having trouble crossing the border. The association says academics who are from countries that have tense democratic relations with the U.S. should be particularly cautious about U.S. travel, especially those who identify as transgender or whose research could be seen as being at odds with the position of the current U.S. administration. A new report by Microsoft says it took down almost 500 malicious web domains last year, and that it stops approximately 1.6 million bot sign-up attempts every hour. The software giant says it's getting harder and harder to spot fakes, especially since a lot of people use artificial intelligence legitimately to create real websites. So here's what's being done to tell the difference between someone using AI for a legitimate reason and someone creating a scam.
Have 84 trillion signals from a threat standpoint that we process every single day, which gives us unique insights into what is happening. So it starts with really getting this intelligence and understanding the patterns so we can then protect against these frauds.
Well, here are some tips to make sure that you don't get scammed. Websites highlighting a limited time deal might indicate a scam. Look for typos, especially in the URL. Some of these sites might clone or try to mimic real companies. If you're on social media and you click a link and that takes you to a shopping site, close out of that page and go to the site independently. Also check the reviews. Similar wording in all 5 stars are usually red flags. And finally, when you do buy something, officials say that you should pay with a credit card. Well, this next story sounds like something out of a movie. A jewelry store heist in Los Angeles, and this was no smash and grab. Police say the thieves likely spent a month drilling a tunnel into the shop through an abandoned building next door. The suspects disarmed the store's video cameras and alarm system before breaking into 2 safes. The owner's son says the thieves made away with $20 million worth of gold bars, jewelry, and cash. Police say the only clue the robbers left behind is sound from a drill that was picked up by the store's cameras. Wild video of a near miss in Florida. Sheriff's deputy and a state trooper had to jump out of the way just in time. This happened over the weekend. An SUV crashed into their cruisers as they were helping a driver who had just hit a deer. One person was hurt but is expected to survive. An auto supplier in the Detroit area is laying off more than 180 workers after the manufacturer said it sold one of its facilities. Tribar Technologies is closing one of its plants in Wixom. 188 people are losing their jobs, but some of the other workers will be moved to its facility in Howell. Tribar makes trim components for auto companies along with injection molding and chrome grills. And rounding out the first 6 minutes of news, will the snow and cold weather affect Holland's annual Tulip Time Festival? That is the question. Well, that festival is scheduled to run from May 2nd through the 11th, of course, in Holland. It draws thousands and thousands of people each year as they enjoy rows and rows of tulips in a variety of colors. There's also parades, Dutch dances, a carnival, and various shows and a concert. Our meteorologists, well, we are hopeful that the tulips will be just fine this year because we're a ways out, Kendall.
Yeah, we're a ways out. And we know I have the opposite of a green thumb, but I can always appreciate, walking through the tulips and just taking them in there.
I know, I've never been, so maybe this year will be the year.
We have to put it on the calendar.
Hopefully the weather is just gorgeous by then.
You know what? We have some gorgeous conditions in the forecast in the meantime, Siobhan.
Okay.
I mean, we do have a lot of sunshine, temperatures back above average by tomorrow, and then maybe a couple of storms late Friday.
All right, your full forecast with all those details for you right after the break.